I can still feel the exact moment my heart stopped believing in safety. It was a quiet Tuesday evening, the kind where the world feels small and kind. The sun was dipping low, painting our little suburban home in warm gold. I stood at the kitchen island, chopping vegetables for dinner, while my 18-year-old son, Ethan, built an elaborate Lego fortress on the living room floor. His giggles floated through the air like music. My husband, Jack, was due home any minute from his shift always, with that tired but genuine smile, always ready to scoop Ethan up and spin him around until we were all laughing. We had built something solid, or so I thought. 15 years of marriage, a home filled with memories. Jack had served in special forces before we met, strong, steady, the man who made me feel protected. He left that life behind for us, for the quieter days. Or that's what he told me. Then the call came. It was the hospital. A nurse's voice, gentle but urgent. "Mrs. Thompson, Ethan was in an accident. A car struck him while he was crossing a school parking lot. He's in surgery now. You should come right away." The knife slipped from my hand. The room spun. I don't remember the drive, only the blur of red lights, my own ragged breathing, and the terror clawing at my chest. When I burst into the ER, Jack was already there, pacing, face pale. He pulled me close. "He's going to be okay, Emily. Our boy's a fighter." I clung to him because he was my anchor. Because in that moment of pure fear, he was still the man I trusted with everything. The doctors explained hidden high speed. Ethan had multiple fractures, a concussion, internal bruising. It was close, they said. Very close. We spent the next 48 hours in a haze of beeps and hushed voices. Jack never left my side. He held my hand through the night, whispered prayers when he thought I was asleep. He brought me coffee, wiped my tears, told Ethan stories from his army days to keep his spirits up, even when our boy could barely keep his eyes open. I looked at Jack and thought, thank God for him. Thank God we're in this together. But late one night, while Ethan slept under the glow of the monitor lights, Jack stepped out to take a call. His phone buzzed on the chair beside me. I glanced at it, habit, nothing more, and saw the notification. Target neutralized. Payment pending confirmation. Clean hit. No traces. My blood turned to ice. I shouldn't have touched it. But my hand moved on its own. I unlocked the screen. He still used our anniversary as the passcode and opened the message thread. What I found destroyed me. Months of planning. Photos of Ethan at school, at soccer practice, in our backyard. Coordinates, timings, make it look random. Busy after school pickup. No witnesses. Payments wired to an offshore account. The contact saved as Czar, but the full name in the signature, Reyes, a name I'd heard Jack mention once, years ago. A former contact from his special forces days. Someone who handled problems. And then the worst part, a conversation with a woman named Vanessa. Intimate, loving. Once the boy's gone, we disappear. New life, just us. Jack had taken out a massive life insurance policy on Ethan 6 months earlier, hidden it from me. The payout would clear his secret debts I never knew existed, and fund a fresh start with her. I sat there in the dim hospital light, staring at the evidence of my husband's betrayal, feeling my entire world crumble. The man holding our son's hand every day had arranged to take him away forever. I didn't cry out. I didn't scream. I simply locked the phone, placed it back exactly where it was, and waited for Jack to return. When he did, he kissed my forehead. Any change? I forced a small smile. He's resting. Inside, the woman who loved him died. What rose in her place was something colder, clearer. Something that remembered every combat story Jack had ever told me. Every lesson about patience, precision, waiting for the perfect moment. I wasn't going to break. Not yet. The days that followed were the hardest of my life. I had to pretend. Every single day. I had to let Jack hold me while I fought the urge to push him away. I had to watch him kiss Ethan's forehead goodnight and whisper, "I love you, champ," knowing exactly what those words now meant. Lies wrapped in tenderness. Each one cut deeper than the last. At night, when the house was quiet, the pain would crash over me like waves. I'd sit on the bathroom floor, silent sobs shaking my body, asking the same questions over and over. How could the man who once risked his life for strangers plan to end our sons? How could he look into Ethan's trusting eyes and see only a payout? How could he touch me, kiss me, act like nothing had changed? I felt shattered, broken into pieces so small I wasn't sure I'd ever be whole again. Trust. Every memory we shared felt poisoned. Our wedding day, the night Ethan was born, the quiet evenings when Jack would pull me close and say, "You're my everything." All of it tainted, but amid the heartbreak, something shifted, slowly, painfully. The grief began to harden into resolve. I couldn't confront him, not without proof that would hold in court. Jack was trained to lie, to cover tracks. One wrong move, and he could disappear, or worse, finish what he'd started. So I became the shadow in my own home. While he slept, I worked. I photographed every message, downloaded bank records showing transfers to Reyes, found the insurance documents hidden in a locked drawer, documents I'd never seen. I even discovered encrypted emails planning the accident down to the minute. I reached out quietly, first to a family lawyer who specialized in high-stakes cases, then to a private investigator who had worked with military families before, finally to the lead detective on Ethan's case. At first he was skeptical. Hidden on no plates, cases cold. But when I handed him the folder screenshots, timestamps, financial trails, his face changed. "This is conspiracy to commit murder," he said quietly. "Possibly attempted murder if we can prove intent. We'll need to move carefully." No alerts. I agreed. I understood caution. Jack had taught me that much. I started wearing a small recorder during our conversations. At dinner, in the car, during late-night talks when he thought I was vulnerable. He slipped more than once. "Everything's under control," he'd say with a tight smile. "Soon things will be simpler." Once when he thought I was asleep, he whispered into his phone, "Tell Reyes to stand down for now. Too much heat." But the policy's still active. I recorded it all. Ethan was healing. Physical therapy, crutches, brave smiles, even on bad days. Every time he reached for Jack's hand, my stomach twisted. But I kept going. For him. Because if I fell apart, Jack won. The emotional weight was crushing. Some nights I could barely breathe. But each piece of evidence I gathered felt like reclaiming a fragment of my power. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was fighting back in the quiet, calculated way Jack himself had once taught me. The woman who once loved him was gone. In her place stood a mother who would do anything to protect her child. And I was ready. The trap closed at dawn on a crisp October morning. I had coordinated everything with the detective. The arrest warrant was ready. Evidence airtight. I waited in the hallway with Ethan, who was still using crutches but insisted on being there. "I want to see Mommy be strong," he said. The knock came sharp, official. Jack opened the door in his robe, confused. Two uniformed officers stepped forward, detective behind them. "Jack Thompson, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, fraud, and related charges." Jack froze. His eyes flicked to me. To Ethan, recognition hit like a blow. "Emily, what have you done?" I stepped forward, voice steady despite the storm inside. "I protected our son. That's what I did." He tried to speak denials, excuses, but the officers moved in. Handcuffs clicked. He looked back at me one last time, eyes wide with something like fear. "You don't understand. I understand enough," I said quietly. They led him away. Neighbors watched from porches. News vans arrived within hours. The story exploded. Special Forces veteran accused of plotting son's murder for insurance money. Headlines, interviews, Jack's face everywhere. His old unit distanced themselves. Vanessa vanished, no forwarding address. Reyes turned state's witness for a reduced sentence. His testimony sealed it. The trial lasted less than a week. Overwhelming evidence. The jury returned guilty on all counts. Sentence, 35 years, no parole for the first 25. I didn't go to the sentencing. I didn't need to see him in chains. Justice had already arrived. Ethan and I left that house. We moved to a quiet town by the water, small cottage, ocean view, fresh start. He runs on the beach now, legs strong again. He still asks about his dad sometimes. I tell him the truth, gently. Your father made terrible choices. He hurt us deeply. But we are safe now, and we always will be. Looking at my son's smile, I feel something I thought was lost forever. Peace. not the fragile kind. The kind forged in fire. I didn't seek revenge through anger or violence. I let the truth do the work. I exposed the darkness he tried to hide. And in doing that, I saved the light that matters most, my child's future. If you're ever betrayed by the person you trusted most, if the pain feels like it will swallow you whole, hear me, you are not broken beyond repair. You are not defined by their lies. The deepest betrayal can awaken the strongest part of youth, a part that refuses to let evil win. The greatest justice isn't always loud or violent. Sometimes it's quiet, methodical, truth spoken in a courtroom, a child protected, a life reclaimed. When the mask finally falls and the world sees who they really are, you get to stand in the light they tried to extinguish. And that light, it feels like coming home. Breathe it in, you've earned it.